peace and favor would be suggested by pasture grounds being used again. Issa 65. 10. J 23. 3. 33. 12. 50. 19. Nick 2. 12 As sheep were led by a loving shepherd to pasture grounds where they were safe and had an abundance, so God's people are guided and cared for by Jehovah. PS 79. 13. 95. 7. 100. 3. S 34. 31. Patara Pata Middle.ra. The Lycian seaport where the Apostle Paul and his associates, likely in 56 CE, transferred to a boat sailing for Phoenicia. Act 21. 1. Patara is today identified with ancient ruins at the village of Jalemish on the Mount Venus coast of Asia Minor and lies about 10 kilometers 6 mi of the mouth of the Xanthus-Kocha River. It served as a port of call for ships from Italy, Egypt, Syria, and other places, and it was the primary harbor for cities along the Xanthus River Valley. At Acts 21. 1. Certain ancient manuscripts add an Amira after Patara. If this addition is correct, then the ship on which Paul sailed from Miletus either passed Patara or put into a port there, with the actual text to acute Muritra Longo. Paul 585, an Egyptian expression meaning land of the south and evidently referring to Upper Egypt. Upper Egypt generally designates the region of the Nile Valley running from a point somewhat east of Memphis on up south to Sin Modern Aswan at the first cataract of the Nile. The text at Isaiah 11, which foretells the return of Israelite exiles from Egypt, Mizraim, Pathros and Cush, would seem to corroborate the placing of Pathros somewhere in Upper Egypt, with Cush Ethiopia bordering it on the an Assyrian inscription of King Esarhaddon gives a similar lineup, referring to Egypt Musur, Pacharasi and Nubia Kusu, or Cush. Ancient Near Eastern Texts, edited by J. Pritchard, 1974, p. 290. Ezekiel 29. 14 calls Pathros the land of the Egyptians' origin. The traditional Egyptian view, as recounted by Herodotus 2, 4, 15, 99, apparently corroborates this, as it makes Upper Egypt, and particularly the region of Thebes, the seat of the first Egyptian kingdom, under a king whom Herodotus calls Mens, a name not found in Egyptian records. Diodorus Siculus 1st century BCE records a similar view. Diodorus of Sicily, I, 45, 1. The Egyptian tradition set forth by these Greek historians may be a feeble echo of the true history presented in the Bible regarding Mizraim, whose name came to stand for Egypt and his descendants, including Pathrusim. GE 10. 13, 14. Following the desolation of Judah by Nebuchadnezzar, a remnant of the Jews fled into Egypt. Among the places listed in which they dwelled Migdol, Tapanhes, and the 4 cities of Lower Egypt, and the land of Pathros. J 44. 1. Here they engaged in idolatrous worship, resulting in Jehovah's condemnation of them and the warning of the coming conquest of Egypt by Nebuchadnezzar. J 44. 15, 26-30 Papyrus evidence of the 5th century BCE shows a Jewish colony situated all the way at the southern end of ancient Egypt at Elephantine by Sin. Pathros and Path Middle.ru seem of belonging to Pathros. Listed 5th among the offspring of Mizraim the son of Ham. GE 10. 6, 13, 14. 1 ch 1. 11, 12 The name is apparently the plural form of Pathros. As 29. 14 This would indicate that the tribe of Pathrusim settled or became predominant in Upper Egypt. Patience. See long-suffering. Patmos. An island where the Apostle John was exiled for speaking about God and bearing witness to Jesus. Re 1. 9 While there, he received the revelation. According to ancient tradition, John, having been condemned by Domitian to dwell on the island of Patmos, was released after the death of that ruler 96 CE. The Antonicene Fathers, Volume 8, p. 562, Acts of the Holy Apostle and Evangelist John the Theologian. Situated in the Carian Sea, a part of the Aegean about 55 km 34 MW of Asia Minor, Patmos lay about 60 km 37 MW SW of Miletus, and less than 240 km 150 mi from all 7 congregations specifically addressed in Revelation chapters 2 and 3. This small volcanic island has a very irregular coastline and is quite barren and rocky. But today wheat, olives, and grapes are cultivated there. Apparently because of its isolation, Patmos, along with other Aegean islands, served as a penal isle. Petrobus Patromitaldopus, a Christian of the congregation in Rome, whom Paul greets in his letter. Row 16. 14. Porpayu, a place in Edom, where a certain King Hadad evidently had his royal residence. GE 36. 31, 39. 1ch1. 43, 50. The location of Por is now unknown. Paul Little, small, an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin and an apostle of Jesus Christ. F1. 1. PHP 3. 5. Though perhaps having both the Hebrew name Saul and the Roman name Paul from childhood. Act 9. 17. 2 P3. 15. This